All right. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see everyone. Um, it's some kind of holiday or something today. I don't know if people are into that kind of thing. We'll call it, the first day of spring or something like that. If you're a if you're a heathen, I don't know. Anyways, greetings, and it is quite a lovely day today. Someone asked about the intro song in the YouTube comments, and they were like, asked me, I guess, what the song was. That's actually my song. If you don't know that, it's something that's coming out on an upcoming project. And as soon as it comes out and gets released officially, I won't be able to play it anymore because YouTube will hit me with a copyright strike on my own music, and that'll be annoying. And so I'll have to change it up. So eventually I'm going to change up that song. But for now, it's a good intro song. It's working. It's working out. Um, all right. A really good way to support the channel is buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews. You can leave me a note there and I'll read it after the show. Also, Rockfin Tips, Super Rays, as they are known, Super Chats on YouTube, as they are known. Also, greatly appreciated. And Venmo and Cash App links are in the description box. All right. Um, so let's start with this. Hope you all are enjoying your day, wherever you might be. Let's see. Oh, well, kind of to piggyback on a little bit on the discussion we had yesterday, just briefly from Peter Dines. About geoengineering or stratospheric aerosol injection or solar radiation management or whatever you want to call it. Whatever acronym you want to use. Injecting the stratosphere with aerosols would delay ozone repair. So it's not good for the ozone layer. You know what else is not good for the ozone layer? Uh, everything else that we're doing too. Massive releases of carbon dioxide and monoxide and methane and go down the list. And we also have the development of ground level ozone, which is also not good for plants and animals. And we are animals, so that includes us. I'm not going to go through this, but basically they're saying it's is a bad idea because it's going to impact the ozone layer. And we already have evidence that the ozone layer is not healing the way that they tell you that it's healing. Right? More from Peter Dines. The drought is so bad in Italy, even the Venetian canals are drying out. Gondolas are stuck in the mud. The climate we knew is disappearing before our eyes. He said, for clarity, the problems in Venice are being blamed on a combination of factors: the lack of rain, high pressure systems, and sea currents. Say what? Anyways, sorry. What's up, Rockfinners? If you're on Rockfin, howdy. Howdy, hey. I'll check in on the Rockfin chats periodically during the day. More about Europe. I keep hearing that European policymakers talk about climate problems in other parts of the globe. Europe is suffering the worst drought conditions ever. It hasn't rained in France for over a month. No world region is immune. We already talked about this, that they're banning home building projects in France, despite a severe housing shortage. Really? There's a housing shortage in France? You can't just give people homes? By the way, did anybody see that China sent Syria prefabricated homes to help with earthquake relief? They're trying to help people of Syria out, and meanwhile, Israel is bombing Damascus. And, you know, oh, you guys had a natural disaster where the world is supposed to come together and aid you? How about some bombs? Hear those are pretty tasty. Bombs for breakfast. And sorry if there's a buzz going on. My apologies. Okay, maybe it's gone now. Peter Dines again. I'm still hearing certain scientists say it's difficult to know whether these trends are just a run of bad luck or actually attributable to climate change. He said, that ship has sailed. Climate systems are changing abruptly at this point, faster than any point in history. Which is true. You might say that some people are in denial of climate change. Or the reality of it, the veracity of it. But even your friendly neighborhood climate scientists will go, "Well, we don't really know. We're not sure yet." Hem, ha, ha, hem. Really? Okay, you're not sure yet? You know, the ice keeps melting. It keeps getting hotter. Glaciers keep melting. There's no snow. All the rivers of the world are drying up altogether. We can't really know whether something is actually caused by climate change. Okay. So climate change. There seems to be a change in the climate. Just on a generalization. Could you say that the climate is changing? Okay. All right. And I mean, speaking of the people that don't believe in climate change, it's fine. That's fine. If you don't want to believe that, but do you believe it based on your own investigation? Do you believe it based on your own observation of evidence, or do you believe it because all the people that you listen to for your information are telling you that it's not real? So think on that. Think about that one. It's okay to be skeptical of your your friendly neighborhood truth tellers and or journalists. Me too. Be skeptical of me. It's fine. Skepticism means, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm totally sure about what that person is saying. Maybe I'll go check it out for myself. It doesn't mean like, shut up. That's not what it means. No. Screw you, pal. You're just full of lies. Oh, no, that's not what it means. It means like, I don't know. Maybe I like this thing you were saying over here. I'm not sure about this one over here. Maybe I'll check it out for myself, or I'll just keep listening. See if the information rounds itself out. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of people I listen to where I find some of the, some or most of the information they give, interesting, helpful. But sometimes they sometimes they walk into areas of other information. I'm just like, I don't know about that one. Not sure if I agree with that one. That's okay. That's healthy. It's all right. How many of you have been using the hashtag climate scam and realize that you're being played by these criminal corporations? I mean, if you, it's also interesting though that some, people on either side of a political spectrum can be like, fossil fuel companies are the most evil, nasty, money grubbing institutions known to man. But pharmaceutical companies, they just want to help you, right? Or vice versa. Pharmaceutical companies are big old fat, these corporations are just lying to you and stealing from you. And, they own the media and they're just giving you information that's helpful to their bottom line. Well, fossil fuel companies, no, they it's just clean, reliable energy. They just want to help you. Okay. Anyways, both sides of the political aisle or spectrum, or where are you a shit lib liberal or are you a shit lib libertarian? Because you could be a shit lib libertarian. So it's okay. I'm equal opportunity pissing people off on this show. It's all right. It's all right. I don't even know if I'm really going to go into this whole article, but it's true. I mean, it's just been a long-standing, well-known. Yes, climate policy going south. That's a good distinction. Climate policy is a scam. Right. And that's where people get really confused. It's like people are confused between the reality of climate change and what the people in power want to do about climate change, or what they're saying like we should do, or well, a shit lib on any level is a cult member, somebody who's a cultist, somebody who just repeats things because everybody they identify with says, a certain thing. So you just repeat it without thinking about it, thinking it through. Anyways, but good distinction. Going south, yes, great distinction. Is climate change a hoax? No, but are the things that people are trying to do, trying to tell you is the way to go around climate change? Yeah, that actually could be a scam. So good distinction. I appreciate that. But they, the well-known, it's well known that all the fossil fuels, which are pretty much, because fossil fuels power our entire civilization. They are the top of the heap as far as wealthy and powerful and influential. And they all got together and they were like, well, we need to, we know they already, here's the thing is they know that climate change is real. They know that global warming is a thing. They know that. But in order to keep selling you the products and the lifestyle that those products bring, those great, great things that those products bring, in order to keep the money train going, they had to obfuscate the reality of it. They had to, put out this thing that, it's not real, it's fake, there's going to be an ice age. No, it's not global warming. No, we don't know. The jury's out. We're not sure. It's a hoax. On and on and on. They did this deliberately. This is same with the think tank that told you that, that got together to try and undermine any kind of socialism in this country, right? Social programs, things that protect people, unions, right? All those things that were put into place to kind of help people, all the corporations, all the libertarians, all the corporations, all the people that are, all got together and, well, we'll let everybody know that the government is bad and they don't want to help you and they can't help you. And if they try to help you, it's a bad thing. It's always a bad thing, and never get help from the government ever. Except for when they want to build you roads, give you firefighters, or police, library, except for those things, right? It's always bad, right? That is a scam. But, don't listen to me. By all means, be skeptical of what I'm saying. Anyways. All right. Luke Rudowski posting this. Saudi Arabia is like, I don't know, they seem to be a little rogue, a little renegade. What's going on? They're ending the war in Yemen. Which is something of another proxy war by us, by us truly. And they have they cut ties. Well, this is according to MSN. Cut ties with the U.S. for economic independence. In a surprising move, Saudi Arabia and the OPEC Plus group of producers have announced a cut in oil production of approximately 1.6 million barrels a day. Well, this is after they already said we're going to cut oil production last year. Remember when Biden went over there and he's like, hey, could you guys pump some more oil? And they're like, nah. Actually, we're gonna cut the oil. How about that? And now they're saying they're going to cut it again. The decision to cut oil production comes as a surprise, particularly as it is lower than the expected reduction of 2 million barrels per day. That was what they said last year. That was to be agreed upon during the meeting that included Saudi Arabia and Russia. Scheduled to commence in May, the announced voluntary reductions in production supplement previously established cuts agreed upon in October. Riyadh has officially stated that it will curtail output by 500,000 barrels a day. Or maybe this is just a big old cash grab. Maybe this is a reason to raise the price of oil. right? For now, keep oil prices high. You know, who knows what's really going on? It's hard to know. The inside game. Right? But it's, hey, we're cutting the production of oil, and then 2 days later the news article comes out with the headline oil production cuts will likely force prices higher at the gas pump, right? So get ready to head back to like $6, $7 a gallon gas, guys. I mean, they already said that anyway. I mean, they already are forecasting the price of oil per barrel to go up. So there you go. Other countries have also announced production cuts. The UAE, Kuwait, Oman, Algeria, Kazakhstan. But this is also coming in the face of Saudi Arabia and kind of wanting to join BRICS and saying that they will trade in yuan with China. I don't know if this has something to do with it, but this is Caitlin Johnson posting this. U.S. Navy sends guided missile submarine to the Middle East. Or not Caitlin Johnson, Vanessa Beeley. Ridiculous and impotent show of force from a dying empire. I mean, it's kind of I mean, on the macro, right? It's all of this are maneuverings to control the energy supply. I mean, what was Nord Stream? We didn't like it. So it's gone. Apparently, there was another pipeline that was supposed to go through Syria. Was that possibly another? I think it was supposed to go through Syria from Russia to the Gulf, and so we didn't like that either. And it seems like all we have left is very transparent attempts at containing the power of other countries and maintaining our superiority. It's from Primo Radical. The USA says we must defend Ukrainian sovereignty. Also, USA, we aren't allowing Ukraine to have peace talks. They're a sovereign nation, and they should be left alone, except for when they want to make their own decisions about whether to have a peace talk or not. Then we're going to say no. No, we need this to keep going for many reasons. Even though it is deeply unpopular, this war is deeply unpopular with seemingly everyone, except for people who are lost in the sauce. People who only have time to watch CNN at the gas station or the airport. Well, that Russia is bad. That Putin is a bad man. We need to support Ukraine. I think I'll fly a flag from my Ford truck. Anti-war rally in Berlin. On the eve of Easter, an anti-war rally was held in Berlin. At least 3,000 people marched through the streets against arms supplies to Ukraine, calling on authorities to prevent attempts to deploy nuclear weapons in Ramstein and facilitate peace negotiations. Nice Free Assange banner, too. Yeah, Kameshwari Kate. Tom Hartman fully supports the war. Wow. What a lefty. He used to be a peacenik, right? Wasn't he? He and all the Democracy Now! Folks were, super anti-Iraq war and George Bush, but, And then they slowly were like, yeah, ISIS is bad. Maybe we should stay in Syria. Oh, yeah, Putin is bad. They've just they slowly have become imperialist mouthpieces. Good job. Nicely done. It's good to consider what you truly believe in. If you want to believe Russia's bad, hey, they're not. I mean, I don't think Putin is a great guy. Or Xi or anybody else, but especially when you're a journalist, it's always good to act as the fourth estate, right? You want to expose the people in power who are trying to run a game on you, right? And if you're supporting the people in power, you're probably not busy exposing them as you should be. But here's Jill Stein. Remember Jill Stein? I like Jill Stein. It's not just war. Military vehicles consume petroleum fuels at a faster rate. This also impacts climate change. The MIC has a stranglehold on our government. They're in bed with political parties and Wall Street. And she forgot to mention who are the big bad the big bad behemoth? The fossil fuel companies. Who love when you're like clean, reliable energy. Who love when you're like, no. They want to take away our personal vehicles. We need to burn more stuff. That's anti-human to say that we can't use fossil fuels. Okay. Okay. Anyways, let's listen to this from Jill Stein and Sabby Sabs.
UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released a synthesis report that global emissions need to be slashed in half by 2030. It's not just war, it's not just drone strikes and bombs, it's also military vehicles. This is a piece I think a lot of people are not aware of, because those vehicles actually consume petroleum fuels. And petroleum-based fuels release CO2, nitrogen oxide, hydrocarbons, and carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. It actually increases the global temperature. And when the global temperature increases, that's how the ice caps begin to melt. And I would challenge anyone who is a climate activist You really need to start pushing back on politicians that have this rhetoric that is pro-war or that is pro-military.
As you're pointing out, the U.S. military.
Hint, hint, Tom Hartman, Democracy Now!, all the lefties that supposedly care about climate change. Hint, hint.
Is the biggest source of fossil fuels for any organization. And if you're comparing nation states, and they're like almost 200 nations, it comes in at like number 47, something like that. So it's like a whole country, and it's way more than most countries. That is, the military-industrial complex has such a stranglehold on our government because they are so in bed with the major political parties, the parties of war on Wall Street. They don't even have to report their emissions, so no one's even keeping track. And they, the current Biden government is very proud, patting itself on the back and just praising its latest so-called climate bill, the Inflation Reduction Act. But it's so important for people to actually not take them at their word, to understand that, this is part of the the information warfare, which really pervades all spheres. And if you actually look at the details of that bill, it is really a fossil fuels first bill.
Oh, yeah, she's just breaking it down there. Breaking down that Inflation Reduction Act. It was supposed to be a bill that tackled the climate issue. Oh, it's a fossil fuel subsidy bill, basically. Again, and has inflation really been reduced since the Inflation Reduction Act? Again, it's like the Puppies for Everyone Act means that we will be taking your dogs henceforth or forthwith, immediately. We will be confiscating your puppies. That's the Puppies for Everyone Act. So it doesn't actually really give puppies to everyone. It actually kind of takes the puppies away. It's kind of, like the Patriot Act. We're patriots, we passed the Patriot Act. This is for patriots to be patriotic. No, it actually takes away your rights. It's actually the most unpatriotic act ever. But it knew it. Oh, but Patriot Act. Okay. But we're not, satisfied with wars in Syria or wars in Ukraine. And I'm not satisfied. Yeah, Justin McNeil. I voted for Jill Stein as well. I thought she was great. I thought she was really intelligent, articulate, well spoken. Her policies, made a lot of sense. I don't know. I don't know what more you want. Somebody said they didn't want to vote for her because she seemed like the annoying person at a drum circle. I was like, okay, this person is a college graduate too, a teacher of children. And I was like, that's why you don't like Jill Stein, huh? Okay. Awesome. You really thought that one through. But it was good for a laugh on Facebook. Ha 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 ha. All right. Anyways. Let's not start on how smart people are on Facebook. Let's not start on that, okay? Over and over again, we see U.S. officials talking very differently about a hot war with China over Taiwan than they talked about hot war with Russia over Ukraine. This is absolute screaming insanity, and it should enrage everyone. Apparently, the U.S. Foreign Affairs, chairman of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, says U.S. troops in Taiwan are on the table.
So, Speaker McCarthy and yourself have said that multiple times now, that we need to arm Taiwan now before there's any sort of invasion. What about U.S. troops?
I think, then you're talking about an authorized use of military force that would come out of my committee, or a declaration of war, which we haven't utilized since World War II.
Would you support that?
I think if China, Communist China, invades Taiwan, I think that is certainly, if the American people support this, the Congress will follow.
House Foreign Affairs Chairman Michael McCaul signaling he is open to...
Well, that's not good. I mean, does this feel like the run-up to Ukraine? I don't know. Here's from The Guardian today. China sends dozens of warplanes towards Taiwan as U.S. urges restraint amid military drills. Isn't Taiwan part of China? Anyways, China sent dozens of warplanes towards Taiwan for a second day of military drills on Sunday, launching simulated attacks in retaliation. To the island's president, Tsai Ing-wen, meeting the U.S. House Speaker during a brief visit to the U.S., Taiwan's defense ministry said it was monitoring the movements of China's missile forces, as the U.S. said it, too, was on alert. China's People's Liberation Army sent 70 warplanes, including fighter jets, reconnaissance craft, and refuelers into Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or the ADIZ, on Sunday morning. The PLA had announced the immediate start of 3 days of drills on Saturday morning. By 7 p.m. that evening, it had sent 71 warplanes and 8 ships into Taiwan's ADIZ, with almost 60 crossing the median line. While in Los Angeles last week on what was officially billed a transit on her way back from Central America, Tsai met with Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives Kevin McCarthy, despite Beijing's warnings against the meeting. Why would you do that? We warned you. Why would you do that? Anyways, this is just, it has been going on and on. We also warned China about sending military aid to Russia, and hold on if I can find this here. Don't know if I can find it. Anyways, there was a Chinese official saying, like, we, are not going to be talked to by the U.S. in such a manner. So take that, U.S. U.S. of A. We're sick of you. Oh, I don't know if I can find it. Darn it. Thought I had it handy. Maybe not so much. Where did he go? Anyways, I don't have it handy. Darn my luck. Just laughing at the jokes in the chat. Pretty good stuff, guys. Keep it going. And, we'll move into the reasons not to read or engage with mainstream media or take what they're saying seriously. I mean, I guess you could read it or watch it, but maybe don't take it so seriously. The New York Times, after feeding the public several versions about who blew up the Nord Stream, now announces it may be in no one's interest to reveal more. We don't think anybody should actually care, or we don't think they should know. This is a security issue, national security. Maybe there's a clue in the article's last two paragraphs. And naming a Western nation or operative could trigger deep mistrust when the West is struggling to maintain a united front. Is that like possibly causing vaccine hesitancy? Well, you don't want to cause vaccine hesitancy now, would you? By telling truthful things about the vaccine now, would you? You don't want to do that. You don't want to cause mistrust about actually naming who destroyed the Nord Stream pipeline. Is there any interest from the authorities to come out and say who did this? There are strategic reasons for not revealing who did it, says Jens Wenzel Christoffersen, a Danish naval commander and military expert at the University of Copenhagen. As long as they don't come out with anything substantial, then we are left in the dark on all of this, as it should be. We wish you to remain in the dark. Anyways, this from the New York Times: intelligence leaks surrounding who blew up most of the Russian-backed Nord Stream pipeline last September have provided more questions than answers. It may be in no one's interest to reveal more. Who is the no one? Maybe the people that ordered that little operation there? Is that the no one? David Frum telling you the reason why you should trust mainstream media is because this is hilarious. Anyways.
You asked the question, Brian, why should, given these mistakes, why should people trust the media? And I say the mistakes are precisely the reason that people should trust the media. What? You asked the question, Brian, why should, given these mistakes, why should people trust the media? And I say the mistakes are precisely the reason that people should trust the media.
What? Mistakes are precisely why you should trust the media. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And this from Orfila, Matt Orfila again. This is a nice little video on the many mistakes that were made. But nothing to see here. These are not the droids you are looking for. If you care about your fam and friends, tell them to get off of MSNBC. Retweeting Glenn Greenwald, retweeting Matt Orfila, created a mini documentary entitled The Typhoid Mary of Disinformation on how much Nicole Wallace reflexively spreads lies. 1 million people have watched. Let's watch this.
Talking about exterminating Latinas.
100% pants on fire.
The Havana syndrome. Headaches and a loud noise. Clearly acts of aggression, acts of war.
Scientists say the sounds were crickets.
Havana syndrome. Our enemies might be weaponizing technology, beaming something to hurt people's brains.
The claims are scientifically implausible.
Donald Trump to now investigate a conspiracy theory about COVID coming from a lab in Wuhan.
This theory needs to be investigated, which is what President Biden is doing.
Hunter Biden's laptop reveals emails.
We shouldn't look at it as anything other than a Russian disinformation operation.
The Hunter Biden laptop material is genuine.
The murder of a police officer, Officer Brian Sicknick, was killed In the line of duty, they beat a Capitol police officer to death.
Officer Sicknick died of natural causes.
The Steele dossier. It may be dirty, but it ain't fake.
Obviously, the Steele dossier is discredited by far, actually.
I mean, this is the lunatic response to what is a very rational, evidence-based, fact-based investigation.
FBI pleads guilty to doctoring email.
What the report shows is something that won't be surprising to people that have spent a lot of time in the federal government.
The report left former officials aghast.
The FBI is exonerated today.
It doesn't vindicate anyone at the FBI who touched this.
They are all absolved of any wrongdoing.
The activities we found here don't vindicate anybody.
The Trump administration cleared peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters so the president could take a photo in front of a church.
We did not find evidence that federal agents used CS gas. The DC police used the CS gas.
Protesters were gassed to clear the way for Trump's foot.
I didn't actually know this about this particular story. That's interesting. That was a fake story. Wow.
Demonstrators were pushed out to allow contractors to build a fence, a response to damage done during the 2 previous nights of rioting.
Russians offered a bounty for the killing of U.S. soldiers.
U.S. intel walks back claim Russians put bounties on American troops.
This mountain of evidence that we now have of bounties that Russia paid.
The Biden White House acknowledged there was little evidence.
January 6th committee's investigation into a 7-hour, 37-minute gap, possible cover-up in the records of calls, and it is no coincidence.
The call logs are complete with no missing pages. The gap is explained by use of White House landlines and cell phones.
These are the facts. Let that sink in.
All right. That's pretty good. Clip there. Matt Orfala, thank you for your work. And lastly, it seems like the CBDC thing is a worldwide phenomenon. And how quickly it's coming to a neighborhood or near you, I don't know. But this is from China. Just in, the payroll of all civil servants and the employees of all state-owned enterprises in China's Suzhou city will be paid with CBDC beginning in April. It's April right now. What do you know? China's CBDC has expiration date on its money. Let's look at this for a second. And here, I don't know if we can.
For example, Fanusi says China's central bank could put an expiration date on the digital money, similar to how lottery winnings have to be spent before a certain date.
It means that the Chinese government could set up a whole lot of things to have your currency maybe valid or invalid based on its own priorities. This is almost like handing over the keys to your business or to your finance department in some ways, because you really can't control what at the end of the day may happen with the funds that you're holding.
Yep. But, again, they're quickly rolling out CBDCs kind of everywhere all at once, right? Let's see. Checking in on the coffees end of the day, end of the show. What's up, Rock Finners? Y'all staying relaxed over here? Victory Jen says Tom Hartman is trash. Pretty much. Stopped watching that dude a long time ago. I never actually watched Tom Hartman, but I wasn't like an avid Tom Hartman watcher, but once in a while I would, kind of saunter in to his show. See what was going on. And he used to speak somewhat knowledgeably about climate change. I don't know if he still does that or not. Maybe that's a reason why people still listen to him. I don't know. But it's not necessarily a reason for me, because if you just say any old stuff about anything, Makes you a little less credible. All right, y'all. That about does it for me. Gene says China is making friends and working with so many countries the U.S. is pissed. Sure. Creative Experiments, you're going to use FedNow if they don't have any transaction or wire fees? I guess that's, well, you know. That's how they get you, man. They give you the first taste for free. The oldest trick in the book. All right, guys. That does it for me. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Nadia says I need to get out of the USA before 2025. Not a bad idea. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow at the regular time of 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And until next time, peace.